Now, really, we're going to be taking the national anthem too before we sit down. We are patriotic citizens. That is what makes us special. Thank you very much. Please, Now, quickly before before Mr. Sowore comes up, we'd like to please get some to recognize some very special personalities that make us. Please, a round of applause for ourselves, please. Come on, get me together for ourselves. Really, for our tenacity, for our patience, really, and for our resilience. God bless us so much. So, without wasting much time now, we'll be recognizing some people here.
And with a clapping ovation, would like to invite to the item over Dr. Omoyele from the Department of History and International Relations.
Thank you very much, sir. You're welcome, sir.
We also have in our midst this afternoon Professor Derek from the Faculty of Agricultural Science. Let's give a round of applause, please.
Give a round of applause.
We also have Dr. from the Faculty of Agriculture. A round of applause for him.
Okay, we also have Dr. Okajare from History and International Relations Department. Please put your ways together.
From the Department of Mathematics, we have Professor Akinola. A round of applause for him, please.
And also, we have the DSA, from the DSA, Professor Anasu. It's a round of applause for him. Then, as people begin to join us, we'll be notifying us and we announcing while they come. Once again, we're really sorry for starting quite a little bit behind schedule. So without wasting much time now.
We would like to take the opening remarks and the inaugural speech, also the welcome notes, and this is going to be taken by Comrade Awolowo. A round of applause for him, please, as he comes to take the opening. Comrade Awolowo, please. Opening remarks. Thank you very much.
Of the SUSCIBE. Of the SUSCIBE. Ever militant defense. You know, ever since the time I learned that our whites were chased out with sticks was a great defense that chased out 15 convoys of anti-bomb squad out of the campus. And that kind of great defense was not a great defense that anybody could chase out with mere sticks as if they were chasing dogs. So, and I want to believe I want to believe that kind of great defense is still alive. And the kind of great defense I know respect their doggedness, respect their tenacity, to resound a resounding greatness, not while they are sitting down, but with their fists up and their legs on the feet to march. So it's not the greatest defense. But the real people are the real great defense students. Because in our anthem, it states clearly, and look at all nation. Well, and that amounts for the inaugural program of the Showore campus, because let me start first by welcoming you to the inaugural session of the Showore campus activity. The Showore campus is the take it back structure of campus, and as it stands now, I made bold asserts that we are in all geopolitical zones in Nigeria, all of the 36 states, but it was deliberate. It was what? Deliberate to have chosen Obafemi University, aka Obafemi University, as the starting point of this event. And the reason for this, it is not because of your architectural masterpiece, definitely not. It is not necessarily because we are the most intelligent, but because the reason is just one reason. It is due to the fact that Welfare has an history of fighting oppression. And for the 2019 election, it's not going to be business as usual. It is free. As revolutionists, as activists, we have 3 P's to power. There are many P's to power. 3 P's to power. They are the barricades. Oh wow, I'm so lucky. Now we have 3 P's to power as conscious layers of the society. We have the barricades, in which we've been doing for the past 58 years of great servitude in Nigeria. The second P is the balance, which is the stage we are trying to espouse. Because we know fully well that though the militants and criminals, they are individuals who are not even capable of following their law. But for now, we are going to espouse that same law of balance they created. But the third P, you will find out what the third P means by the time we change them out of power, and let me do the rest. Okay, not to take too much of our time. One of the major reasons, and many reasons, our movement has been built majorly on young people, is because we feel that young people who, despite being the ones that fought the independence we have here today, despite being the ones, the generation of the Showores that fought the democracy we have today, against civilian dictatorship anyway. Nevertheless, these same young persons are the most insulted in our 19 years democracy. Or better, you could just simply call it ruling class dictatorship, because that is exactly what it is. So if any one of us, if anybody tells us that as young people, we were being insulted on our road to capture political power, I want to repeat and tell them that insult is when they are paying your parents 18,000 minimum wage, and the Paris administration wants to increase school fees to 500,000 naira. Insult is when the county senator, is being paid as much as 13.5 million naira, and our professors are not even earning up to 500,000 naira. Insult is when the private government subject you to the debt centers they call use OETSC or UCH. But Buhari asked the FOD to spend 10 billion naira on himself in a London hospital. That same 10 billion naira would have built 5 other hospitals in Nigeria. So let me tell you something. Maybe insulting them may have been too small. A place like Vietnam, corrupt politicians are hanged. They hang them. That is what they do in Senate lines. Because they are responsible for killing thousands of citizens on the road in the Texas Dispatch hospitals. I'm saying this because as young people, our classrooms and in religious centers, we have been taught a modified version of morality. But I must also warn that this kind of the people we are fighting are vicious, and as you were going to say, Ojúbọ̀rọ̀, kò ṣe gbọmọ lọ́wọ́ èkùrọ́. Our party and our movement, it is not a movement to liberate just your five people in Nigeria. As you already know, it is one African Nation Congress. It is a movement to liberate all Africans, both at home and diaspora. And that is why the major ambition of the Take Back Movement campus structure is to ensure that for in a period of 10 years, we are able to erect structures and ideas of our movement, not just within Africa alone, but I protect the entire world. If you are in doubt, that we cannot do it, then go and check the history of the formation of the movement and the party. The movement is there in 7 months, and we can board of membership anywhere across the world. The party is there in 2 months, and we can board of membership anywhere in the world. We are the only candidates, we are the only party, we are the only movement that is preaching the gospel the oppressed have been waiting for a very long time. And the gospel of the revolutionary politics. To overcome 58 years of servitude. Now, you knew us as activists. And yes, we are still activists. But it is now time to move from the barricades, to move to struggle for free education. The struggle for 3 years here, all of our struggles for increased wage, we are now moving into a struggle to take up political power. And with this, everything we have been fighting for the past 58 years, if Nigerians make the right choice, we'll have the ability to defend everything we fought for. Let me step aside. Let me step aside by reminding you something, that the road to revolution, the road to freedom is watered by the sweat, pain, and anguish of living legends. And of course, it is colored by the blood of our fallen messiahs. In their names, let me step aside by saying, Alita continua. Thank you, back.
Thank you very much. That was a very wonderful one from Comrade Duo. So without wasting much time, really, I cannot overemphasize how sorry we are due to the schedule now. I'll be bringing up a man of stature, as I like to call him, as a notable figure in the political history of this country. He's going to be talking on historical and political antecedents of Omoyele Sowore. And I'm talking of another person than Mr. Lanre. I believe you also understand our legacy. Due to time, I won't be able to read, I won't be able to go now.
me a while ago, and he mentioned something, perhaps he didn't get it right. And he said, this is the Jerusalem of radicals, the Mecca of militants. It is not by accident, it's a tradition. And I'm not disappointed. I'm not disappointed after 20 years that we held sway in control of union leadership, what I'm seeing now. Especially when I know that we don't have a legitimate union and the consciousness is still this high. It means it cannot be killed. Greatest event. I salute your courage. We've been clamoring that we want good leadership. We want people that will represent us very well. We want individuals who will have the love of the city's area at heart. People who will not just think about themselves, but will think about the country. People who will make the black man to have confidence in himself, rather than think he has a genetic problem. And that's the kind of leadership we are aspiring. And I'm challenging you all. Don't see it as impossible. For every 1,000 miles of a journey starts with a step. And that's what we are doing today. I bring to you a friend, a comrade that I've known by the barricade for over 20 years. Someone with whom I stand shoulder to shoulder with, even when they were pointing guns at us. Someone who will be ready to stand in detention, even for our own cause when we were fighting our struggle and not that of real life. And that's why I feel today that no matter whatever I'm doing, if he's coming to Ife, I'll be part of that city. Greatest event. It's not an accident that he has chosen Ife as his starting point. That tradition, everybody knows it. We all know it. But we have to keep on moving it forward. And that's why I keep on telling people that despite the fact that we have the democracy at hand, what is going on is even worse than what we had in the military era. And that's why we have a president who is so shameless, bringing up a certificate. I was once you know, when you are forging, and you are forging with good memory. Great men. You know I'm not afraid to mention it. I'm talking about your president. You are not the one. No, you know, it's so painful. It's so painful when you know that Hausa's subject was not offered in 1961 and 1962. And someone is claiming to have a sworn in Hausa from where? And the man is calling himself a man of integrity. If it were a foreign land where people really respect themselves and a symbol of honor, that alone is not going to resign. But we'll talk about that later. Greatest event. I want to look at the historical and political antecedents of Omoyele Sowore. He was former president of the University of Lagos. But beyond that, several other persons were president from England. He had a revolutionary zeal. He was not only committed to the struggle of England. I remember the very first time we had issues together facing the police. It was about a time, we've had some others, but that particular one I could remember vividly. I'm talking about 13th January 1999. We then had a vice chancellor here called Professor Awolowo. And just because the VC didn't want the gentleman standing in front of you to be president of the student union, I was PRO of the student union before then. And I have to get to court to go and get an injunction, buying you over for contesting the office of the president of the student union. But we had a very radical union. When that letter came, the Judicial Council sat on it and said, one, Professor Awolowo does not have the local stand to go and get an injunction when he's not a member of the student union. Lawyers will understand. Secondly, the court with which he got that injunction, the decision is not binding on the student union. Greatest event. Kulu Kulu. Even if they take away lights. Thank God we have a generator that is working. As I was saying, the Vice Chancellor got that injunction, but the Judicial Council had to treat away on the basis that you cannot get a fake injunction. If you were a student and you were part of the union, it would have been a different case. After that, I was allowed to contest for the office of the student union president. And you know what they did? Immediately I won the election, the Senate sat and said we were not recognizing the CEC. That's the Central Executive Council. That means the president and other executives not being recognized. Same day, just about 24 hours after I won the election, they came up with that. Immediately I got sworn in 9 days later. The Senate sat and said from 590 naira, there will be introduction of fees to 10,000 naira for returning students, for fresh students, 20,000 naira. And they even had some persons sponsored to tell students that let your president not even be married, let this year. Students were even furious. They were looking at it, what would happen? They would ask us to pay for home. But we shifted the ground of the fight from Ife down to Lagos. Press conference in Lagos, rallies in Lagos. I remember the then Commissioner of Police, in person of Agelo, Sunday, who was once the Commissioner of Police in Osun State when I was being kidnapped under Abacha, but escaped narrowly. The man was so furious, why are you coming to Lagos again? Why do you want to have rally? To cut the story short, there were lots of armor tanks at Yaba on that day, and very few people could stand. Late George Remy Bulade, Africa, may so rest. He wasn't the oldest, but he was quite brave, was a wonderful comment. And most times when I look back, all that course remember him. Africa stood with just about 7 other persons, we're not more than 9. And I saw my comrade coming out from nowhere. He had what were going on, what was going on radio, on TV, the press conference, the exchange of words with the Commissioner of Police. And he came around to join us. I remember how we had to use the banner as a lawani sort of thing, you know what Muslims will always call it then. And to beat the mobile policemen, enter into their midst. He was right there with me. At point of arrest, that was when he was to travel out to the US. At point of arrest, I had to push him away. That please don't get arrested because You were supposed to be on a scheduled flight, and you had done all these things. Go. We did not get to see until after 12 years. After 12 years, I was to enter into the United States of America. He was the one that came to the airport to pick me. And I can tell you that the way I met him, what I saw that even when he was outside the country, his heart was still back at home, fighting the cause of the people with Sahara reporters. Great event. It's not much of the lady talks that we are hearing, but we have a government that's not sincere. Most times they do not think about the poor people, and when they do, in their narratives, they do not act it. We need a government that will not only say it, but that will be able to stand by their words. Our own country, Nigeria, has its potential. The limiting factor is just the leadership. I beg of you, you are ambassadors to a new Nigeria, if only we can determine to do it. Some other countries of the world have done it. It all starts this way. Persons who collect 3,000 naira, 4,000 naira for them to be voted, or pay 3,000 naira for them to be voted. But I tell you, when you collect such money, you put yourself in slavery. If you look at the situation of education as of today, for some of us that have traveled out of the country to see what education is like in other countries of the world, even our best universities in Africa cannot compare. If you look at the situation of the roads, look at the potholes all the way from Ibadan down to Ife, and begin to wonder if that would happen in any African country, talk less of overseas, talk less of Europe, America, and whatever. But the problem is because we don't have good leadership, not because we don't have the money. If you look at the number of the kinds of vehicles that plow our roads, you begin to wonder if this is not madness. The life expectancy in Nigeria Saturday is between 43 and 45. Talking about men and women. But you start wondering, are we that weak that we can't live long? But the answer to it is very, very clear. Visit all the health centers. Go to Luz, go to Lasus, go to FMC. All the youth teaching hospital. None is being exempted. Go to UI teaching hospital. When you get there, you will understand why people die at hospital for free. When you get to our roads, you will understand why the life is not long here. Don't less of the fake drugs that are being imported consciously with the sponsorship of persons in leadership. When you aggregate all these things together, it brings nothing but a short lifespan. You will be in this city. That's the truth. It could be made with you. But if only we are able to stand for our rights and use our senses towards ensuring that we have good leadership. Some persons used to call Jagaban in Lagos. They will worship him, they call him idols. Already that was a slave master. Out of the budget, out of the internally generated revenue of the states, about 30 billion plus, the man collects about 8 to 9 billion all alone. And suddenly he wakes up and tells you that the government is not smiling properly to him, he moves to another one. And he's so sure of it. He can make any people vote for just because he knows that the time he shares 2,000, 3,000 to people, they will vote for him. And I begin to wonder, do we have educated persons in this country any longer? Do they have the colonial masters because of the medicine that will do too much? But even the slave trade we're having now, but the slavery we're having right now is even much more than that. Nigerians are everywhere in Libya, countries where they are fighting war. And yet, it pays them to stay there and coming back home. Because our country is a living hell. Over 500,000 youths will graduate every year, but there's no meaningful job for them. And Unfortunately, these useless problems we have as people to understand. Even when you are not doing much, the people with which you educate those 500,000, they will not fly outside, and that's what we call brain trade. And the useful countries that never invested anything on them. This is the pain, this is the agony that we find ourselves in and we're going through. But changing it, we have to start from somewhere. And that's why I supported the cause of coming to Ife, because I know if it's done in Ife and it's done well, it will spread. Let us defend. Dare to fight is dare to, and Luther continue.
Come on, join me hands together. You can do better than that. Join me hands together. That's different. When I hear these things, I'm always happy of the heritage that we've had over the years and of the future that is yet to come, of great responsibilities. Thank you very much. Okay, so quickly, without wasting much time now, we'll be recognizing some people right amongst us here, because we have people all over the states, from all over the world, represented right here in this hall. So I will be doing that without wasting any much time. And I'll be joining on the stage now. To do that with me is going to be Dr. Tokumbo Awe. Please, a round of applause for him as he comes.
Good afternoon, everybody. Hi. All right, welcome to today's program. My name is Awe. Thank you for playing on that football. I'm a good doctor. I graduated from this great institution in 2007. All right. Without wasting much time, I want to recognize some personalities here, both local and national, of AAC and of the OEU environment. My list here is Mr. Olarewaju Kayode. He's from Oshogo. He's part of the executive of the AAC. Alongside with Ogala Irene. I have Alaka lecturer maintenance. Your presence is highly recognized, as well as Mr. Idowu or Mrs. Idowu. Please, if you are here, can we just say hi to the audience? Just want to recognize them. Thank you for coming. Thank you. Next is we have two contestants for the AAC. We have Mr. Awolowo from Oshogo is contesting an office, House of Representative of Oshogo. Can you hear? Can you please come forward? Just say 1 or 2 things, please. Just come and say 1 or 2 things, please. Thank you.
Great to say. Great to say.
Let me tell you just one thing. You see, the struggle is not for the chicken asset. This struggle is not for chickens. I'm telling you. You once said something here, and if you are not a Yoruba English, you will not understand. As a matter of correction, my name is Ayo Damola Oluwayola. I'm contesting for House of Assembly, representing Atakosa East and West constituency. The movement is strong. It is the time that we will take it back. And let me tell you what we are going to do. When we take it back, we will make it difficult for any stupid human being to collect from us. I'm telling you, we will raise the standard in such a way that
if anybody is not up to the standard, they will fall by the way. I'm telling you. I have been going around campaigning. Look, if you are selfish, you will not be able to help Nigeria. I'm telling you. Because if you enter first term, when you're supposed to do good stuff, you want to spend the first term appeasing what you call the gods of your party. That's a stupid thing to do. I did not go to this school, but I respect everybody from this school. I went to Festival. When we do faculty president, we use 1 year and we achieve. Don't we? In 1 year, as SUSCIBE president, you will do everything that you promise. This is my advice to us. Look, don't let anybody tell you that we will not take it back. Our next president in this country is Omoyele Sowore.
Thank you. I recognize the presence of Mr. Awolowo. He's also a representative of TIB, is contesting an office. If you just recognize yourself, just wave your hand. Okay, thank you. Round of applause for him. Okay, I want to recognize the state coordinator of TIB. The TIB movement is the head of TIB in the entire Osun State. That is the person of Mr. Awolowo. Mr. Awolowo is going to head such a movement in a state like this. It's not here. Okay, all right. I recognize Odukumi Sikiru is the event coordinator of the TIB movement. Thank you so much for being here. Are you here? Thank you. Next, I want to recognize the union leaders of this great institution. Representative of SANU, I believe you guys are here. The SANU members, if you have any representative, will we just recognize your presence? Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you. I appreciate your coming. Any representation from NASU? Are you here, please? Any representative here from NASU? Thank you for coming. I appreciate your presence. Next is ASU. ASU members, you recognize you. Thank you, ASU members. Alright, all the members of UNWA want to recognize your presence. UNWA members, thank you for coming. I appreciate you for identifying with us. We really appreciate your coming. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, without wasting much time, the next agenda of the list, I think I have our short video. Just a little clip of what our business has been doing recently. Thank you so much.
Leadership in one sense that people have from every aspect. Leadership has failed the country. So how do we can solve that problem? But tomorrow. Through leadership again. That will get everybody an advice. Saying, we are going to still die. What can we do to give them an everlasting legacy that yes, we fail this country, but we tried our best at the last minute to make things right. I've been treating myself outside this country. Let us repair at least one hospital. The way they can do it in 6 months. In less than 6 months. The foundations for all these hospitals are already there. We have so many general hospitals all over the place. To make one work doesn't cost this country nothing. From all the money these people, the all millionaires can go to all of them. To repair this country is nothing. And then start realizing all the achievements like day by day. Nigerians, we are very sorry for the hardship and misery we are going through. We are living government in a few months. I'm leaving government because I'm too old to run. But in these last 3 months, this is what I'm going to do. There's no need to change anything. Just all that money you are just doing. just bring it back to Nigeria. Give it back to Nigeria. Unilag, all the schools, all the government schools, make all the government schools better than the private schools. Don't ask how that comes. They can do it. Put computers in all the government schools. Let the people of this country be learned. Let them feel learned. The people of this country will feel learned. Let the conductor be proud again. Let us start to work with Manchester United, Arsenal, Barcelona. Let us go back to my own days. Who did we know? Stationary stores, RICC, Rose Dental Insurance. This was the one who went to the stadium to watch them. Who did we know? Second of Red Family, Awolowo, Okola, Christian Chukwu. These are our idols, are strong people. These are people that we worship. Who did we worship today? Yes, it's remarkable. I don't think anybody knows that. We don't care about belief. But the people that still go to believe are the masses. African leaders, we have all of them.
Hi everybody once again. Hi. Okay, you can't find it without videos, so we have to do the next item on the list, okay? Before I bring in our principal, I want the representative of the students union at this time, whoever is representing the student union or want to speak on behalf of the student union should come forward and just give us one or two things about the state of the union so far on this campus so that the TID movement at the head of this movement can be aware of what the campus is. I don't know guys who you really would love to come forward. Hello? Articulate, Hello. Okay,
I am the greatest effect. Articulate effect. As a conscious effect. As a militant effect. Of the greatest kata. Articulate photo. Of the greatest Shima. Of the greatest Kawa. Of the greatest effect. Articulate effect. Standing before you is Omoyele Sowore. I was a parliamentarian in the former student union parliament, which I don't believe the union is suspended. I believe the only thing it is waiting for is your reaction. It is because we have not yet demanded for it that we have not yet gotten it. Also, if you look at the national condition today, when you look at Uniben, look at Unilag, look at UI, you discover there is an attack on student unionism in Nigeria. Because virtually all first generation universities don't have a union as at present. And it's something our generation must stand up against. Let us say articulate fair. Presently as we speak, students are suffering from a myriad of issues. There is a deep transportation crisis, there is an accommodation crisis, there are various crises which we are managing. Of course, there are various crises which we are managing. And upon all this, the federal government is still planning fee increments in tertiary institutions. This is part of the reasons why ASU is presently taking up the national agitation. If we continue to keep quiet as a generation, we are going to use it the same way the older generation is using it. And it is time for us to stand up and take action towards taking Nigeria back. I would not have loved to come forward, but of course people called my name. So I want to appreciate that honor bestowed on me. And I want to say in the classic Graphic style, Aduta continua.
Thank you. All right, I come to the very beginning of the program. And of course, you know who next bringing on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, with joy in my heart, I introduce to you the TIB ringleader. Is someone that his speeches and videos I've watched have so much mesmerized me that I've given all it takes to be here, to be part of this program. And I'm honored to be the one holding the mic and inviting on stage at this time. Apart from the fact that he's fearless, he has the guts and the clout and the character to move like that to the next level. Omoyele Sowore is integrity personified. His manner, his culture, and his self-assured. If we don't need Nigeria Messiah this one, we will not be mistaken. Sowore is the man of valor, the tendency of the corrupt. He is selfless and dogged. He has those figures and ability, personality, and shortness that we need as a leader of the next generation, the next level. Join me, ladies and gentlemen, to give the mic to Omoyele Sowore. So nice to be here.
Let me apologize to you personally and collectively on behalf of our team that somehow we came late into the hall but not into the campus. We actually arrived here at 10 a.m. this morning. When I was coming to Ife, I had to hire advisors on what to wear, how to speak, and what to say. Interestingly, I was here in 1998 after we drove the military out of power, and we had to celebrate it at no other campus but Ife. So I came with Chief M.P. Abdullah's wife, Dupe Onitiri, and we were here to celebrate the fall of the military. It is 20 years after. This is 2018. We have forced to celebrate the downfall of a misogynistic, wicked, and useless civilian cabal in the country. I chose not to go to the University of Lagos, where I was the student union president for 2 years. The reason is simple. I left the University of Lagos in 1995 finally, traveled abroad in 1999, came back to the University of Lagos in 2004, hoping that I would make the university in a progressive condition. I came back to the University of Lagos finding out that there were almost giving them uniforms to wear as students. And I swore, great event,
get their acts together. And I'm not afraid or shy to say it, that we will have to get it together at the University of Lagos, but you guys have to be proud of yourself. You have always had it together. So, this is the time for independence in Nigeria. They did it on behalf of the political class. When we fought for the military to be kicked out of power, we didn't do it for ourselves. We did it on behalf of the political class as well. That's why when they were taking decisions about how to take care of Nigeria, they never took any decision on how to take care of us, those who fought for them. In fact, they've done everything to leave us behind in their decision-making process. That is why in 2018, somebody will look at me and even you and tell you that you are inconsequential. This happened here in Oyo State a few months ago. But the good news was that when that meeting happened and we had that radio show, probably some of you have watched it between myself and the Minister of Miscommunication, I told our team that the transfer of power from the analog team of useless leaders has just taken place to the digital era of the revolutionary nature. And it was as if I was being prophetic when I told Shitu that we'll see his back. It didn't even take months before Shitu fell apart. But Shitu is not our problem. We have a very humongous problem in the country. We have a problem that is facing us in such a way that if we are not careful, we are going to be wiped out of this country. If we are not careful, they will never care about us in this country. Because at the age of 47, somebody is looking at me and saying that I have no experience to lead Nigeria. When as a matter of fact, at the age of 21, I was leading Nigeria in the direction of progress and democracy as a student of the University of Lagos. And when we were doing it, ladies and gentlemen, all the people who are claiming to be politicians today were hiding underneath their beds. Some of them ran away from this country. But the students of Nigeria stood up and acted, even in places of our parents, to bring about good governance, democracy, and human rights in this country. Under our watch, under our push, and our effort, and our focus, we defeated several military leaders in this country. I don't know if any one of you knew that there was a time that to be a student on this campus, you have to pass at least 2 armored tanks at the gate to get into the campus. It was permanently stationed there so that if you did anything in their view to disrupt the process, you get killed. And it is the reason why one of our greatest friends and revolutionaries on earth that I ever seen, Willie, Africa, was killed. Africa wasn't killed by force, as they want you to believe. They killed him because they saw his future. That he had become so revolutionary, this young man, that if they don't finish people like them, they will not let this political class rest. Before they did it to Africa, they tried it on me at the University of Lagos. I was attacked in a similar fashion by a coalition of court gangs, police officers, civil, the DSS, and we used to call them DSS, the secret police in those days. I survived it. I was injected at the University of Lagos with an unknown chemical substance. But that has never affected the way I saw the future. I knew that one day we would have to confront the shenanigans of the political class in such a way that we put them to rest and in permanent retirement. And the death is staring us in the face, and it's next year. Next year is not Nigeria's election. Election is just a process. Next year is our date with history. Next year is our date with the revolution that must happen in this country. By next year, 2010, is the time that something has to give in this country. As you know, Frank Fanon once said that out of relative obscurity, every generation must discover its mission, either to fulfill it or betray it. It is now up to you to fulfill the mission to free yourself from a tiny, minuscule minority of very, very vindictive, ambitious political class, or to betray it by collecting part of the crumbs falling off their tables in what they distribute during election time. The 1,000 naira, or what they call stomach infrastructure, the one that separates your destiny from yourself, the one that passes your soul from your conscience. You have to decide if that's what you want next year, or you want a country governed by you. Because don't let me lie to you. The democracy we had in 1999 is not democracy. It's a morontocracy. It's the government of morons by morons. You can finish it. And you can name them, all the morons that have been president since 1999, starting from Baba Yago. There was even a time they imposed upon this country a dead man. For 5 months, Yaradua was dead in the hospital. And they kept saying that he's recovering. After that, they imposed upon us a man who they claim had a PhD, but nobody could find physicists. And they came and did what the PhD of his nature does. They came and PhD in Nigeria. You know what PhD means? Like that. Pull him down. They came and pulled down the whole of Nigeria. And after that, of course, came this our ancestor. Nigeria is the only country in the world that is electing an ancestor into office after the ancestor has been around for 40 years. Not only is he an ancestor, he is an ancestor of the dinosaur type, you know, the one without 6 cents. Yes, and you are hearing it from me. These guys have nothing upstairs. But not only are they asking you to vote for him, they have also brought another ancestor. Yes. You know, who is of the armed robbery gang type. To come, they are saying to you that if the other one cannot lead you into their party motion, at least the other one will bankrupt you. The age of these two guys combined together, is 148 years. 148 years. Nigeria is 58 years old. We are not forced a country to the extent where we must vote for people who are almost twice the age of Nigeria. Let us be fair. I'm telling you this so that we can break it down to our limit. As to the reason why we must change direction next year. But you do not just have a regular candidate in front of you. You have one of you. You have someone who is going to fight for you. Because it's somebody who has always fought for you. And you two have always fought for me. When Legacy was standing here, he didn't tell you that when I picked him up at the airport, when he came to the US, I took him to my house, or wherever we were, I don't remember. And he said, right now, I think we can stop thinking about Nigeria for a little bit. I need to read. And I said to Legacy, they have just removed fuel subsidy in Nigeria. And he said, Sowore, what's the problem with subsidy in Nigeria? Are you buying fuel in Nigeria? I said, no. As long as our suffering. We too are suffering wherever we may be. So, as soon as he changed his clothes, he said, okay, let's go for it. We entered into my car, put my laptop and some clothes into it. Legacy that was supposed to stay in my house, we didn't see the inside of the house for another 5 days. And that was the period that we had to go and hijack the town hall meeting that you probably seen on the internet of a minister who came to New York in those days. Ladies and students, I'm telling you some of these nuggets so that you will understand that the battle is not going to be easy. Right? The battle we need to fight next year is going to require that those of you who feel that you have not joined the army of revolutionary and freedom fighters, you need to join it now. And those of you who think that you are tired of fighting, those are the people who refer to as being in the reserve. You also have to be recalled back to the battleground where this battle was fought. And this includes former student leaders who are out there thinking that, well, it's time to give up. There's no time to look back. This is the best time in the history of Nigeria to take our country back from the cruelest political class that hijacked the country and make it impossible for us to experience progress and prosperity in this country. You know, they have always told you that it's not possible for Nigeria to be okay. In fact, they are audacious enough to tell you that there's not enough money to take care of things that we want from them. One of them one time in New York told me, when he came to attend an event in New York and I confronted him, he said, well, the budget of Nigeria is not equal to that of the fire department in New York. So I asked him a very logical but stupid question that he never answered. As any time your budget is that of the fire department, buy enough fire engines in Nigeria. So the following year, if your budget is equivalent to that of the agri department, buy enough tractors in Nigeria. Anytime your budget is equivalent to that of the university, equip that one university to be like that of the US. I was looking at it and said, you know, Sowore, I didn't think about it that way. I said, of course, people don't think. But this is the time to force them to start thinking. But they are not going to be thinking about thinking or what to do. But we are going to force them to think about how to get out of the way. And for those of them who don't want to get out of the way, well, it is not up to me. I am not going to deliberate or decide what will be the outcome of the fight that I didn't start. We didn't start this fight. We were generally, attending university, doing studies, and we just asked to be given what we desire. They refused to give us. Our parents generally did, work in the civil service. They finished after 35 years. They deserve pension and gratuity. They didn't give them. Our people are generally sick sometimes. They needed hospital. They deserve doctors. They didn't give them. Our people are generally hungry. Frequently, they deserve food. You didn't give them. Our young people are generally graduating out of school. They deserve jobs. You didn't give them. Our students are generally also requiring scholarship. They deserve it, you didn't give them. So you are the one who started the fight. And because you have invited us to this fight, we must fight the fight to finish next year. I have said it, very I am not apologetic about it. And I also want to tell you that, yes, some of you must have seen that there are other candidates, right? In fact, some of you have seen other young candidates. But this is not about being young, right? Because we have a lot of young senators who are useless, right? They want dancing around like Senate. Yes. You have a lot of young governors, right? Raise the bell. You have a lot of young governors who are not paying salaries. So it's not about being young alone. It's about being responsible. It's about being capable. It's about being capacious. It's not about being capacious, but about having the capability to stand up to both local godfathers and godmothers and also international bullies who might want to come our way in the future. We simply haven't had a leader in our own time, or a set of leaders who can deliver on the promise to turn this country around. Ladies and gentlemen, there's nothing else that I need to tell you. I've seen the world, and there's no big deal about America or Europe. The only difference is that where they are supposed to build roads, they put it there. When they wanted to start the European Union, they didn't call anybody to a meeting. In fact, they stole the idea of the European Union from Africans who were trying it in the 50s. But they decided that to do what Africans didn't do, they decided integrating Europe. So in some cases, they were building tunnels underground, highways. They were redesigning their airspace. And when they were done, then they went to a meeting and said, we want to have a European Union. And they said, how is that possible? They said, because we are all linked now. But imagine that it will take you, it's easier to get from here to London some days than to get from Lagos to Ife. I spent 6 hours before on the highway between Berger and Mowe on my way to a meeting. I couldn't make it to the meeting. Anybody who left for London would have arrived to UK. If they wanted to go to France, they would have arrived to France. If they wanted to go to Sweden, they would have arrived to Sweden. But what was the difference? Leadership. People with the ability to think cognitively into the future. And you don't have to be a pastor or a man to see what will work for the future. It is a math, it's a function of planning, it's a function of commitment, it's a function of focus, it's a function of understanding and exposure, it's a function also of intellect. And I can tell you that our leaders don't have intellect. A man who is looking for his YS certificate at 76 years old is not a man with intellect. In fact, to make it worse, to now be looking for a certificate from the body that did not conduct the exam makes it look like you are idiots. In the first place, no, listen, Buhari, it wasn't YA that conducted Buhari's exam. It was conducted by Cambridge University. In fact, yesterday, they put it on their website. You can Google it and look for it. That is only they are waiting for Buhari to apply for them to release his certificate. Why is then Buhari going to WAEC to look for a certificate at his Cambridge University in London? Considering the fact that the president is a regular visitor to the UK. As a matter of fact, I once told them when I was actually at Sahara Reporters that they can give me an authorization, an affidavit, to go to Cambridge University to collect certificate from here and I'll bring it to Abuja for free. They never got back to me again. That shows to you that something shady is in that certificate. It's either that is not Buhari that is on there, just as some people are alleging that the man that Buhari now is from Sudan. You didn't hear it from me. Because I don't know that to be true. But something shady is going on. But it is because there is lack of intellect. But what is worse is this, right? We are being taken for fools. And there has to be a point, ladies and gentlemen, basically, ladies and gentlemen, there has to be a point, and I'm stepping forward, that we'll draw the line. We have to draw the line, and that point is now, where we'll say to ourselves, enough is enough. We have to draw a line and say to ourselves that nobody in the history of this country will take us for granted again, ever. There has to be a line drawn very clearly in the sand, right? That will never vote for somebody who doesn't know his left from his right anymore. There has to be a line.
that will never vote for an armed robber in this country again. There has to be a line that somebody will not become the landlord of a whole state when people in the state cannot even afford to eat. There has to be a line that you will never have to deal with electricity failure again in a university in 2018. I was ashamed, I have to say, when the light went off here. Because you know why? Obafemi Awolowo University, not you now, the university, should have solar panels on top of our hall right now. That is not only powering this hall, but powering this half of the campus. That is the essence of the university. Yes! If you are not researching enough to understand that you can have windmills, and those mountains behind you, and solar panels on top of this building to the extent that electricity failure will become a thing of the past. We better close down the universities. Greatest Nigerian students, but we are not closing down our university. We are closing down the political space that has robbed us of our dignity for 58 years. We are closing down the banks that laundered our future into the hands of non-entities. We are closing down our roads that have become a place to die instead of reaching a destination. We are closing down our hospitals that have become a place to go and get consultation on how to be unwell. We are closing down our schools that are teaching ignorance instead of education. We are closing down our traditional institutions that are teaching us subservience but not giving us the dignity we deserve as people. We are closing down everything that is wrong with Africa's biggest country, Nigeria. Because why? The black race is looking up to us to get it right in Nigeria. Take it back! Ladies and gentlemen, I may not have the opportunity to be in front of you again in the way that we are having it today. I don't even know if we'll survive this. But one thing I can tell you is that whatever happens, we must reach the promised land. Whether they like it or not. We are not going back to their Egypt anymore. And I'm glad that you guys said it, that this is the Jerusalem of the struggle. And someone said it, that this is the Mecca of radicalism. I am telling you that until you deliver on the freedom that the world is expecting you to deliver upon, it can also be the valley of dejection. And I don't think we want to see that. Greatest Nigerian students! Greatest Nigerian students! Greatest Nigerian students! You know, I couldn't do this without the help of our organizers here at OAU, here in Osun State, here in the Southwest, and in Nigeria as a whole. We couldn't have gathered this number of intellectuals, patiently listening and following and applauding without a dime. We have not paid any one of you a kobo today. In fact, since we came in here today, I have not seen water served to anybody. But you have listened with rapt attention. You have shared where necessary. In fact, you have booed because you have a reputation for demystifying people at Ife, right? You even did it to Fela at the time. And that is why I like this place. Because if you are not sure of yourself, you can't come to OAU to come and talk about the future of Nigeria. I do not imagine that Atiku will be coming here anytime soon. I do not imagine that Buhari will be coming except they have a parachute. Because the last time one of them made a mistake and came here, that is good Lord Jonathan. He almost left in a body bag. So they have learned their lessons. So we must keep this space sacrosanct. We must continue to do what we do conscientiously to keep sanity in Nigeria until Nigeria becomes a safe country. But most importantly, for those who are not aware, I'll just leave you with the partial words of Bob Marley's redemption song, which says that emancipate yourself from mental slavery. No one but ourselves can free our own mind. For how long shall they, while we stand aside? He said, no atomic energy. Right? I didn't hear you. No atomic energy can stop the time. The atomic energy of CRI will not stop the time next year, because the next time is our time. And our time is the time for freedom and liberation. Great event! Greatest event! Greatest Nigerian students! Great Nigerian people! Thank you so much for listening. Hope to see you in New Nigeria next year, 2018. Have a nice day.
Take it back! Take it back! Take it back! Please, I'll give my relationship to our seat. We're having the question and answer section now, and please, we'd like everybody to participate. Like I said, we have to emancipate ourselves from mental slavery. Please, let's have our seat. Please, let's not run out of the hall now. Please, we are gradually drawing to the end of the program, but we'd like to have the question and answer. And while we are preparing for that, we'll be quickly recognizing some people.
Before we go into the question and answer section, we'd like to invite OAU Take It Back coordinator, the person of Jayola Matthew, also known as Senator Mao, the master student of nuclear science and engineering on OAU campus. So he's coming to give us remarks. So while you get your questions ready, please let us welcome Jayola Matthew. A round of applause for him.
Of the greatest event. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are living now, you're only missing half of the show. The question and answer session is where you have questions for the principal, and he's going to attend to these questions. So he can't say it all, he can't answer your questions, he can't fulfill all your inquiries. So we are going to this question and answer section. Wait behind, listen to other aspects of his personality, other great areas you might want clarification. So don't go yet, be part of this second phase. Thank you.
Of the greatest event. Great event, don't relax now. Of the greatest event. Please, let's sit down, colleagues. Let's sit down. We've had a bombshell from able leader, His Excellency, 2019 by God's grace, Omoyele Sowore. But before the question and the response section, I want to specially appreciate our colleagues. For 3 months, we'll be planning for this program. And this comments, these ever cautious, ever militant, and ever dogged comrades, they'll be solidly behind this program. And a lot of motivations from elsewhere, from our comrades from every different parts of our states. But then, we have, as rightly done, the presence of some eminent personalities here. We have the presence of Dr. Sumano, Dr. Kejare, a lot of all our lecturers and non-lecturer academic staffs who are here. I want to say on behalf of our comrades that we sincerely appreciate you. Thank you so much. One thing stands strong, as Comrade Sowore said, that the future lies in our hands. We cannot afford to go back to Egypt, never again. It's straight to the promising land of Israel. And so I knew that this is, as this program is very unique indeed, it is the notion of OAU, take it back on campus, Shore on campus. It's a different intervention entirely. And we, as radical, as conscious as we are, we never wait for the national to give us directive. We took steps. We begin to map out different plans to ensure we gain and win the heart of all conscious OAU students. Very soon let me announce that there is a plan on ground to introduce what we call Sowore on campus debate scholarship amidst many other interventions. We knew that as large as one of the major problems of the youth, which is about 70% of the total population of this country, is their ineptitude. Some fees, it doesn't concern them, but therefore we need to strategize and bring in different gimmicks, of course positive gimmicks, to arrest their mind. Recently we've had meetings with different faculty heads to ensure we have a smooth map out of the plan. Very soon all campuses in this country will be ignited with the initiative, and everybody will carry the same mindset, except we are not ready. But I'm sure this fire, of course, is so interesting that this reservoir is coming up from OAU, which is known as Obafemi University. Some people even don't prefer calling it Obafemi University, but OAU Obafemi University, because we decide we address national issues even without being pulled to do that. So on this note, I want all you students to be conscious of different interventions that we'll be bringing up. It is only to bring our minds together so that we can conscientize ourselves more. The need and the necessity to take this nation back from the men of the old age. Greatest event and articulate event. I will not leave here without also appreciating some important perspective. Dr. Akila is a veteran. I wasn't so surprised recently when I was walking in town and I was just even a little office, they were just saying Akila K. She's not known just for her name alone, but because of her impact in consciousness, in supporting, her consciousness supporting what will benefit the masses. And so we have many of these, and also our own MC. You see, if you look at him, you might say it's gentle, but lo and behold, Dr. Awolowo is diplo-radical. Dr. Awolowo was the former IMSA president. A lot of nursing students, they just think it's about reading and reading. We need to take it back together. Dr. Awolowo was the former IMSA president and also the former National Medical Association. The president. So I really want to appreciate you for your solidarity and also concern to ensure that we have a successful program. I want to say on the last note, before the next agenda is handled, that greatest event. If there's anyone here who still feels that the matters of this country or the status quo of this nation does not concern him or her, I want to tell you that you are part of what destroyed this country. Because if you take a step right now, we can take this nation back 2019 with Omoyele Sowore, and on the last time we said, take it back. Take it back.
Thank you, Senator Maro. We're actually going to the interactive session. So we have questions, we have answers for you. So just be ready with your questions. The mics and the ushers are around close by. So before we do that, I have to call upon Dr. Okejari and Dr. Sumono to give us one or two remarks before we go to that section of the program. Thank you.
Greatest Nigerian students, it appears as if we are hungry or hungry or both. Greatest Nigerian students, I will waste our time. And I think from what our comrade has just discussed with us, I have two questions. You may not answer immediately, but but ponder the questions and do the needful. How many of us have our BBC? Number one. Number one, arising from the fact that it is not enough to share Sowore here, only for you to do your voting on your Facebook and your Twitter 2019. Check yourself. How many of us have BBCs? Number two, Sowore may not be able to reach everywhere in Nigeria. But how many of us are ready to go to our parents back home, tell them all that he has told us now, educate them the way they should be educated, enlighten them the way they should be enlightened, and guide them to take the right decision on election day. And like Mara just said, if you do not vote, you automatically lose your moral right to complain against a non-functioning government. So in other words, if perchance, God forbid, we get it wrong again in 2019, and you do not vote, or you vote for somebody who you not have voted for because of peanuts, please shut up, don't complain, suffer and smile. We must go out of this all with that. If we agree that enough is enough, enough should be truly enough. People are suffering in Nigeria. We cannot continue to acknowledge sufferings. Let us get our decisions on time. Let us bring out solutions. Our solutions are our fingertips. How you use your tongue in 2019 will determine what happens to Nigeria thereafter. For those of us who have benefited from the growth, let me tell you, a capitalist does not want you to die. He does not want you to enjoy decent living so that you can continue to serve him. All of them are capitalists. So if we have this opportunity now of somebody we can call to question, somebody we can look straight in the face, in case any dog still sitting in the office and will say, Sowore, like Olashiso. Please, let us not lose this opportunity. I had my reservation when this movement started. I think I expressed this in the forum last week when my department held a symposium, which was like a wake-up call for this whole campus. Great difference, no longer great difference, let's not deceive ourselves. This university is sleeping like many university campuses in Nigeria. History department had a student symposium last week and people were energizing the department in Ife. The headquarters of struggles in those days. Asu, Nasu, Sandu, nobody was talking about symposium. Nobody was organizing anything. So that is where my second comment will arrive. Ladies and gentlemen, if we agree that we have suffered enough, if we agree that we need freedom from this servitude, if we agree that we want to put a stop to the rule of vehicles and the vehicles in our midst, please let us reinvigorate this movement. And the simple reason is that Sowore cannot be here next week and the other week and the other week until 2019. For those of us who are ground, I openly volunteer to be part of this movement. So that we can continue to cover ourselves and we take the message to the grassroots. Not for anything. I mean, some of us have had the opportunities of having the character of that there. But when you want to be the devil, your school must not be done. So, for that, let us make sure that we sustain this culture of enlightenment. You don't need to campaign, my brother, you don't need to campaign. Just let us continue to enlighten Nigerians. Campaign has become more or less satanic verses in Nigeria. Any politician that campaigns is just doing the regular thing that they have always done. Just let us continue to talk to ourselves. Nigerians really need to be emancipated. Finally, I was in Twitter a few months back. There is a movement there, movement for the emancipation of the masses. The question I asked, and I have not found the answer, are the masses ready for emancipation? I stop at that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. thank you, Dr. Dejari. We call upon Dr. Sowore, the present chairman of Code 1. Thank you, sir.
Greatest Ife. Greatest Ife. Articulate Ife. Ever conscious Ife. Ever dynamic Ife. Greatest Bagba. Greatest Popo. Greatest of the greatest of the greatest of the greatest of the greatest Ife. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. The youth are in the majority, and we have to believe in the beauty of our dreams of a better country. I want us to take this belief into actions. We have to be part of voting. We have to be part of decision making. The politicians, regular politicians, use us during elections and they dump us afterwards. So these I want us to take home, that we are no longer used and dumb. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. Catalog. Go back to Sowore's actions. Go back to Sowore's past and see that this man means well for this country. We have to believe in him. We have to support him by voting, by being part of the change to take Nigeria back from the hands of those that sold it into Egypt. Greatest Ife, articulate Ife, take it back, take it back, take it back.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay. Yes, we're going to be doing this in series. We'll be taking 5 persons to talk at a time so that our principal is going to answer the question at the same time. Okay, so if you're here, want to ask a question, do you please just rise up and let the ushers give you the mic. While we wait for that, I do want to recognize a governorship aspirant of the AAC from Oyo State. He's contesting the governor of Oyo State for the AAC by name Engineer Akiwale Laoso. Please, can you just rise up and wave to the audience? I'm so happy to have you here. Thank you, sir. Thank you for being part of this. We appreciate you. Also here is his deputy, the deputy governor candidate for AAC Oyo State, the president of Elijah Balsat Omono. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Okay, who is number 1? All right, Usher, please, can you get the mic? All right, we're going to take us to this video first. Okay, so let that person has the mic first, then we go like that, then we take a few here, then we'll run up. All right, we're going to have 10 people coming out. Let's just have them out once and for all, so don't waste time having that. So, let's have one person from that end. Okay. 1, 2, 3 to come. Okay, 4. Okay, 5, 6, 7. Someone from that end. Okay, please 7. Alright, okay, it's okay. We're going to make it very short, please. Everybody have only 30 seconds for your question. Okay, let us have it. Please, 30 questions for your 30 seconds for your questions, please. Make it brief, very, very fast. Okay, let's try it.
Good afternoon. Sir, I want to ask. Your name? My name is Taiwo Damilola. And my question is, sir, what makes you feel that you are different from all of that younger candidates? For example, like Fela Kuti and what makes you feel you have that vibe, that ability to be able to
Let's make this very quick. You don't know this. You can just give them a very short say and go straight to the question, please. I don't repeat. If you have a question that been said, don't go back to the stage. Don't repeat the question, please. Okay.
Don't give them the mic. Just put it in their mouth. Make it brief.
Good afternoon. I'm Bright. My question is this: INEC released a list of the number of contestants for Senate and House of Reps, and when we look at statistics, the AAC has less than 20 senatorial aspirants, less than 50 House of Reps aspirants. And I want to ask, the Nigerian political system is organized under people doing the politics in their own area, due to the fact that they want to achieve their own political agenda. My question is this: how would this not affect the chances of your party emerging?
Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, sir. My name is Martin Desmond, and I've been asking you a question like, during the last Osun State election, we could see what happened and how everything was totally dismantled. I would like to ask that, how are you going to handle such a case like this if after voting for you and even stressing our effort to campaign for you, things like this were done again? Thank you.
Alright, my name is Elijah. My question is, we all are aware that there's a problem in this country, which is the problem of statistics. We all know that there's no accurate data or consistent data in this country. And we also know that the way that it was used in the US, how data became the tool to be used. Now, my question is that, what exactly are you doing to improve our data accuracy in this country? And not just that, there's problem of electricity, which you mentioned also. Please, can you just give us a little tip of how you intend to solve it?
Thank you so much.
My name is Tamar. I would like to be called words. But with your thoughts, I'm very moved with what you have said. My question is, actually there are five questions. But my question is, do you think you as a president and the likes of Bukola Saraki as any president, do you think you can make any difference? Can you change the fire of corruption like the likes of Obasanjo, IGP, and like, can you change them if you are
Thank you. I'm going to stop and allow the president to respond and we'll go ahead with the next question, a set of questions. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My question is as regards your 100,000 naira minimum wage plan. Considering that a lot of the goods and products we use in Nigeria are not locally produced, most of it are imported. By the time you raise the minimum wage to 100,000, people will start buying a lot of imported consumer goods, and these funds are going to be affected. So how do you plan managing the challenges that will come with minimum wage increment? Also, I want to raise that much of what you said today is what I have done and what the present leadership of Nigeria is doing. You said very little of what you are going to do for this country. And I hope you work on it as time goes on. Thank you.
Okay, now we're going to be taking one question. So if you have three questions, give the best of the question. Don't give him any questions. Just give him one question so we can go around everybody. Thank you.
Alright, thank you. My name is Moses and I would like to ask a question about the repair of the country. We know this country is damaged beyond damage. And then if you are to repair the country, we need some contractors. And most of these contractors themselves are corrupt. That they give them money to repair something and they use staff and give the fake ones, because Mr. Sowore, you can't be there to monitor every project. And then the question is, who are the contractors to be used in the repair of the country and what?
Thank you.
My name is Adwale Fabio. Now this is my question. My question is based on the principle of separation of power. When you were talking, I believe in one thing, that the singular Messiah can never change the whole of this country. And based on that, I believe that if at all the membership of the party does not actually have a representative at the level of the Senate and Rep, I don't know how you intend to actually achieve some of your policies, because the system itself is corrupt. And I believe that even if Pastor Adeboye should contest as the president of this country, the system will even indict or will actually make it to be corrupt. So I believe that if at all you actually want to achieve all these things, how do you intend to actually go about it with your singular policy being attached to that? Thank you. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Kiyoju Samuel Igemi. So I want to ask, are we going for presidency or are we going for revolution? Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Uchechukwueke. My question is just about the fact that you have a lot of young aspiring presidents right now in Nigeria, and all of them, they're having a very, very nice tenacity, very, very good spirit that they want to change the country. But now, politics is a game of numbers. And now imagine that about 10 of you have divided your votes into different percentages. There is a likelihood that there is still going to be a very, very bad governance. So what do you think about merging all of you together and having something like that?
Good afternoon. My name is Awolowo. Yesterday we've seen the Martin Luther King of our time who has given us the Emancipation Proclamation. But my question is, how do you intend to reach those in the rural areas? How do you intend to reach our mothers, our fathers, whose voice can be bought? Those who don't stop the net, those who don't watch television, those who can't even afford a television in their homes. How do you intend to reach? That's my question.
My name is Omoyele Sowore. I have been waiting for this kind of avenue that I'll be able to speak my mind out. Sorry, my question is, how do you intend, I mean, as a student, like if I graduate from this university, how do you intend giving us employment? I don't understand, because I can't finish my education, I'm not getting employed.
Alright, my name is Omoyele Sowore. My name is Omoyele Sowore. I would like to know, sir, how or where do you think, I'd like you to give us a sector by sector breakdown of where you think the current political class have missed it and how you will try to do something differently when you get there so that we can be more convinced and we actually can solve our problems. Good afternoon, sir. I'm Michael. I want to know what are your plans to resuscitate the deteriorating economy that we have in Nigeria. Thank you.
My name is Awolowo. The question I have for you is, what are the realistic measures that Operation Take It Back exactly have in using to take it back? Like, for example, we are in elections. What you just came here to tell us today and what others will come to tell us. Now, what do you have to offer? What do you have to do? Because right from childhood, I've been saying up never, and I've had different administration till now. And even in your present, I'm still going to say up never because it happened there today. So if you become the president, what are you going to do? What problem exactly do you want to solve in your day?
My name is Vijay. I'm an economist. I want to ask you, I don't know about 3 questions, but because of the time I was for my study to work. Now the issue of 100,000 naira the minimum wage. Nigeria does not have the problem of minimum wage. The problem we have as an economy is that we have a backward integration. If you put money in circulation without the corresponding increase in production, it is inflation. And that's what Buhari was telling them. So how do you now manage it if you put money in circulation without corresponding increase in production? Now, classical economics, new economics, pre-Keynesian economics are training. There's no way you can have money to calculate the economy in production. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. According to one of your manifesto, you said you will legalize cannabis. Yeah. Now, I want to ask, Africa is a moral continent. We are very moral in Africa. Now, how do you intend to balance legalization of cannabis and other aspects of life, especially in Africa? Because all these things, they influence crime, rape, and stuff like that. So, how do you intend to legalize it with balance it with moral in Africa?
Alright, good afternoon. Hope I can answer your question. I also have a question for you. Actually, you're covering for most of taking back the nation from the cabal. Actually, it's very hard the intention of taking back the nation from taking back this nation from the hands of the corrupt officials. But one thing is this: we have to know that the greatest people we have in this nation is unity, tribalism, most times. So how do you get to tackle this tribalist kind of attitude between our Nigerian members? What are your plans towards unifying this nation to build a standard of what we want as one nation and be proud of our nation wherever we go?
Good afternoon. My name is
And Vigogo said he who opens the school, closing the prison. Nigeria has the world's most out-of-school children. So according to the Demographic Health Survey of 2015, Nigeria has 13.2 million children out of school. Now, the monthly indicator cluster service of 2016 and 17 says that Nigeria now has over 15 million students out of school. When you become president, what do you plan on doing? And concerning the brain drain, over 15 million Nigerians work abroad and they live abroad. What can you see or what can you do when you become president?
My name is Andrea. So, won't you also be telling us you meant a corrupt economy, as some people have been saying before? And what will you do in resuscitating our economy when you get to the seat of president? Thank you.
My name is Festus. My question is that how feasible is this your movement, considering the fact that we still have political controversialism in Nigeria and it's still working? I think we saw what happened on Sunday. We have some people who are restricted from voting, from some council polling booths. So I want to ask, how feasible is this movement? So that's my question.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sulami Bayo. We know that not one candidate runs for an election. For the youth, we understand that there are plenty presidential candidates who are youth now. The question is, how do you intend to manage the diversity of votes that comes from this other young presidential candidates? Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Omoyele. I pray that we win this battle together. But my question is that, what if, on the long run, the battle seems difficult to win, as in maybe during the election day? I want you to promise us that you won't defect and disappoint with your supporters. I just want you to promise at the front of everybody here.
Thank you. My name is Rawat. How can you use state of residence instead of state of origin to rule Nigeria? State of residence to abolish arrangement.
Take it back! Well, I, as a person, I believe in Omoyele Sowore. My question might actually sound a little bit hard, but my question is this. We believe in Sowore, we want him to change Nigeria, we're tired of all these people leaders. My question is, we know what all these leaders are capable of. Very soon campaign is going to start. My question is, what is the plan for continuity of this party, of this movement? If anything happens to Sowore, can we also look up to any other person that will actually move this movement so that our belief will not be cut short?
Thank you very much. My question is simple. I believe all politics is local. We are in OAU. Presently, we have a problem presently on campus. The problem is that some students believe there is actually strike going on, but some lecturers are presently in class, or in classes. And I think the fact that ASUO used to be the best union when it comes to lecturers in Nigeria, and the fact that now we know we have the strike being broken, I think there is a need to address it by the president. And also, the funding of public universities, which is the cause of the strike itself. I think all of the struggles we're having, the trend of increments in fees, especially the 100 the introduction of 85,000 naira at the College of Sciences, all of these are the things that the president has not taken the opportunity of this event to please address. I would like to end there. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. My name is Awolowo. Before I go straight into my question, I would like to raise an observation I noted today. And that's the fact that Omoyele Sowore would be the first presidential aspirant, or let me say the first politician on campus that would willingly give room for students to ask questions without being told. And I think that is a commendable feat. And in fact, that would not have been possible if not because of your history of radicalism and your participation in the student union. And in that line of direction, I would also like to throw it open to the audience present and also Omoyele Sowore that presently at the time when even our university authorities does not even give room for dissenting opinions. As I am speaking to you presently, my e-voter account and that of this guy standing behind me have been blocked. And when we went to the DS's office to seek the reason for the blocking of the quota, the response they gave to us was that we should go and look for the reason of, we should go and look for our offense. And I don't think in any school society it is the accused that will provide the reason for the offense. That aside, I think it is also necessary to state that we are today, I mean yesterday, marks an exact year when the union was illegally proscribed by its vice chancellor. And when he wanted to defend himself, he said, and I quote, that he did not proscribe the union, he only suspended the activities. As far as I am concerned, the union cannot be proscribed. In fact, it is a ridicule on the collective intelligence of over 35,000 students to say that the vice chancellor has proscribed their union. So I would like Omoyele Sowore to give his own opinions on the present issues that are raised.
My name is Jerry, and I want to ask this question, very important. As a presidential aspirant, you understand that past presidents are romancing with the West, that's the Western state. I want to ask, what is your plan on managing the romanticization of the West? That means how you connect yourself with the Western government and not affecting your own government. They are indirectly ruling you because you have to sign some things with them, either through the EU, either through the UNO and the rest, and all the debts. Now, secondly, I want to ask, I was a farmer, and I want to ask, what plan do you have for agriculture in this organization, in this country? Because you understand that oil has failed us. What plan do you have for agriculture in this country? Thank you very much.
Thank you. I will try to answer this question. Before I come on stage, I want us to know that this movement is about
everyone of the greatest effect. I have two questions. First of all, I saw a British hand shaking a Nigerian hand at the back of the vest. So I need a simple explanation of that, because these British are the ones who colonized us. They are influencing our government even today, so I don't really understand that. And second of all, how do you build a generation that believes in jungle justice? I want you to shed more light on that.
This is the last question, please. This is the very last question.
Thank you. I greet you all in the house. Once again, I will thank Mr. Sowore. Mr. Sowore for this mind-blowing movement of emancipation from mental slavery. My question goes to the audience. In future, we are here because of our future. We are here because of Nigeria. We are in Nigeria. And my question goes to the audience, not Mr. Sowore, that are we ready to take our future back? Because
I did read this one.
This task is before us all. Not only Sowore.
Thank you. Alright, okay, now, before I hand over the mic to our principal, I just want to say this. This movement has representation in as many states, as 30 states in Nigeria, and as many local governments as you can think of. Go to the website, and it's going to be projected up there, and get more information about the party. Now, this is not only about this principal, Omoyele Sowore, it's about everybody. Okay, for one, I never know from this program. I bring my local organization, within my family, within my sphere of influence. Everybody here is challenging you to join that movement. It's not only about, it's about us. We just told us right now that it might not even see the promised land. But that you that is following to that promised land, are you going to be waiting for him without seeing the promised land must be gotten to? So I'm just trying to challenge you. It's not about him and asking, how do you do this? How do we do this? How do we influence our family, that market demand, that idea of yours, that class strength, the president of that station, the local government area you control? How do you go there and mobilize? Now people have invested money, doing flyers, doing photocopies of flyers, doing balance, not even knowing in their locality, moving and pushing this movement. So it's not about Omoyele Sowore, it's about here, it's about our future. You have to just be the president, the leader of this movement, and we're happy to have him as a role model to follow and to duplicate our local community. So I'm telling everybody, don't say it's him, how he's doing it, how are we doing it? He has laid down the foundation, he has made the policy, he has made the agenda. Let's duplicate it and by so doing we shall achieve our goals. Thank you. All of our present our applause for Omoyele Sowore as a doctor for this questions. Thank you.
Great SUSCIBE. Where's the microphone? Great SUSCIBE. You guys managed to ask me 31 questions. And I looked at all the questions here. There are no options. I was hoping that if you ask me 31 questions, it will be multiple options so that I can choose A, B, or C. But I'm going to address this. Thank you so much. And I should say before I start that this particular event is being live streamed to the whole world. Our movement is a global movement. Nigerians across the world are interested in what is going to happen in Nigeria next year. So as you guys probably heard, there was an online voting that happened a few days ago, last week. And we won, our party won that online election by 81.3%. And that tells you something, that people are watching and paying attention to this. First question here is, how do you feel that you are different from the other candidates? I will start by saying that how many candidates in Nigeria today can stand in front of Great Ife without being afraid of what to say, being afraid of how you will react? That is the starting point. That I feel connected to you because you feel accepting of me. Well, how am I different is that I have done this, ladies and gentlemen, standing up for what is right for 30 good years. Since 1989, when I became a student of the University of Lagos. And what was our problem in 1989? It was even a bigger problem than this. We had to keep the military out of power. We have to bring to Nigeria a democratic era. And in 1989, do you know how old I was? I was 18 years old. I'm now 47. I've been fighting consistently for 30 years. How old is Nigeria? 58 years old. Out of 58 years, I've been fighting for 38 years. And you can take the rest of 28 years away from it. It's a period that I was probably planning in the other world to fight for a better Nigeria. So you cannot find many candidates, with due respect, ladies and gentlemen, great Nigerian students, who have fought consistently for what is right for 30 years in Nigeria. You can't find other candidates who fought Babangida. You can't find other candidates who went ahead and fought Sholekan and helped to collapse his interim government. You can't find other candidates, even though some of them are in their 70s, who have fought to bring about an end to the Abacha regime. You can't find so many candidates who fought during June 12, even though they were my age, some of them at that time. You can't find any candidates or so many candidates who fought in 1998 and Lugar Games to fight for the restoration of student unions across Nigeria and also the reinstatement of student leaders, particularly the former student activists at Obafemi Awolowo University. This included Obesere and Tony Patch, who were eventually reinstated as students. You can't find so many candidates today who fought against third term. You can't find that many candidates who fought against Yaradua Kaba. You can't find that many candidates who set up a website to fight corruption and for 12 years fought every corrupt Nigerian leader, from local government councillors to presidents. You can't find that many candidates, ladies and gentlemen, who have demonstrated integrity over time. A candidate who you can look at and say, this guy will not sell me out, or will not collect money from a politician to go the other way. That is what stands up as candidates at this time. In fact, it's paid with due respect. that we have to explain why we can make Nigeria a better place. No, that's what we have done for 30 good years. If I was in the civil service, I would be retiring by now. Probably I would be paid my gratuity. Right? But I'm not coming to you with any sense of entitlement. On the other side as well, I have studied very hard and obtained a master's degree. And some kind of intellect, right? It shows that we have exposure. It shows that we have capacity. I'm standing in front of you here. I have not written anything down except your questions. And I'm standing here for hours and engaged and interacting with you. That's the kind of people Nigeria should have. You know, somebody once asked me, "Oh, you know, they're starting to Nigeria needs an Obama." I said to him, "With due respect, Obama cannot survive Nigeria for 2 weeks. If Obama should travel between Ife and Lagos by road, he will be in hospital for another 2 weeks. You can't campaign here. Obama cannot survive so many of things that happened to us in the last 8 months since we started campaigning in town. So we said that there's no question about it. It's for you to decide whether you want to go with the rugged ones or you want to go with the other ones. Somebody mentioned that AAC has only 20 senators, 50 reps in the upcoming election. You should not forget that AAC is barely 2 months old. Our political party was recently established, less than 2 months old. So that we don't have 20 or so senators contesting is something that you should to show to you that we have been doing our homework well enough to be able to identify who can represent us in the Senate. But let me ask you, do you know of 20 senators in Nigeria today that is fighting for you? And there are up to 20 senators in the Senate who is doing the bidding of the Nigerian people. The answer is no. So if we can even get into the Senate, 20 people with conscience, this country will be a different country. The Nigerian Senate is a retirement home of thieves. And if AAC can get 20 of our conscientious colleagues and comrades into the Senate, you will have a different Senate. There's no question about it. If you can have 20 senators in Nigeria fighting for you, your life will be different than the Senate. If you can have 50 reps, if I ask most of you, if you know the name of your reps, you probably don't know them. Because they are only good for collection of allowances and oversight functions, which is an extortion of ministries, departments, and agencies of government. So, if we can have 50 good senators, 20 senators and 50 House of Rep members, having been established in 2 months, you will see a difference. But let me tell you, what is needed in Nigeria is the president of Nigeria that knows what he's doing. The moment the Nigerian president knows what he's doing, the moment the Nigerian president starts working for the Nigerian people, the difference will be clear from day one. I want to ask you, do you know any senators in France? Probably not. Do you know any senators in America except you do Google? You probably don't. Countries don't elect senators to change their fortune. They elect presidents to change their fortune. And the moment you have a president that is willing and ready to work for the progress of a nation, that nation will experience the kind of progress that you have never seen before. If you have problems with your senators after when I become president, you can recall your senators from the Senate. We almost did it with Omoyele, right before I let go. We need a good president and a vigilant society, and Nigeria will experience progress, prosperity, and peace, and development that we've never seen before. There's a third question here that talked about Osun State. You see, in Osun State, I will say this, I blame the people of Osun for what happened in Osun State. I blame them first and foremost before I blame anybody else. I also blame them for choosing candidates that do not inspire. At the end of the day, in Osun State, who could you have voted for? Between a dancer, and the other one, who is probably like a personal assistant to the man in Lagos. There was nothing inspiring. But most importantly, you had the right to elect whoever you wanted into office. And I'm sure that at the end of that election, the dancer won clearly. Yes, there's no question about it. But it was up to the people of Osun to ensure that the person who won the election got to become the governor. But when people go to sleep, you cannot blame them for it. And I hope that in our own time, next year, young people will be vigilant enough, not only to ensure that you vote for the right person, but you stand your ground until that person is declared the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Until that is done, there will be no peace. If that is clear to the operators of our elections, there is no way anybody will tamper with your choice. And that is where to put it to you, that this is all about you. I'm just one person. You are the one doing the voting. I'll be voting as well, and I'll stand my ground, and I hope all of you will stand your ground. We have done it before. We voted for a man in MPO Abiola. They cancelled the election. We stood our ground until the military was kicked out of power for making that fundamental mistake. Even till today, anybody that was associated with June 12 did not receive any respect for the Nigerian people. I know of the guy, I think his name is Kanu, who organized Daniel Kanu, who organized 1 million man for Abacha. Till today, the guy has not recovered for betraying Nigerian people. So let's be on guard and ensure that whoever we vote for will become the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria next year. Somebody was asking about stats and data. Now, we have data. The truth is that we almost have too much data to work with, right? You look at it, there are 7 ways that the Nigerian society is collecting data. They are collecting your data through immigration, passport. They are collecting through INEC. There is national identity card, means there is MTN and all the phone companies collecting your data. The driver's license people are collecting your data. The BPN by banks. The problem is that we are not putting all this data together, synchronizing them, and using them for the purpose for which people use data in other countries. Of course, you cannot have people with analog brains managing digital data. So until you have digital data, forget about processing of data. But when we come to power, we will process data because there's plenty of data in town, and we will arrive at this by having one single point of data entry and usage, and that is the National Identity Number, NIN. Every other data will be relevant to that data. 100K. So somebody said, as president, do you think we can handle OBJ, Babangida, and all these people that have stolen our money? Yes, of course. People have been saying to me, oh, don't say what you will do because these people will go and ambush you. No. We have to be very clear about the future we want. Because for Korea, South Korea to get to where it is today, they had to deal with some of their past criminals. Right? Many countries in the world, there is no limitation statutes when it comes to crime against humanity. I would love to ask the person who killed Delediwa and get that person in jail, even if he has 1 more day to live. Right? I would love to find out how they dealt with our $12 billion windfall from the Gulf War in 1991. And if anybody is in possession of the money, we return it to the treasury. It's our money. If we are still collecting Abacha's money and loot, why can't we collect Obasanjo's loot? Obasanjo stole after Abacha now. Babangida stole before Obasanjo. His loot is loot. Are we not going to be collecting loot from the person who died, and we leave the loot with the people who are alive to be tormenting us? I mean, we have to be reasonable and clear about this. I will allow the judicial process to take its course. And if we find out that somebody stole 20 years ago, 40 years ago, it's affecting you. It's affecting your lives. It's affecting your health. If there's a contractor who was given the contract to do this road to Ife, 20 years ago, and we can retrieve our money and do the road. Is it not better for us? Why are we speaking, in tongues when it comes to collecting loot from people who are alive, but we don't speak in tongues when we want to collect loot from people who are dead? If we are collecting Abacha loot, we should be able to collect Obasanjo loot too. 100,000 naira minimum wage. Let me tell you, I am not talking about minimum wage, I'm talking about living wage. Living wage is the amount of money that you take home after you work for a month, and the money can take you home and take care of your basic needs. And that's what I'm proposing. But before we propose that, we have done our research and found out that Nigeria can afford 100,000. You know what 100,000 is? 100,000 naira is equivalent to $300 per month. In Turkey, yesterday, the president of Turkey announced that anybody above the age of 65 will be receiving $600 per month. They don't have to work. That's Turkey. Turkey, just in our backyard here. Right? They don't have oil. They have free medical care for the aged as well. So, if you are paying workers $300 per month, is that a bad thing? Well, let me say to you, I've heard people claim that they studied economics, saying that they will cause inflation. But what is very annoying about economists in Nigeria is that when government increases school fees, they don't talk. What they did in Lautech last month or so, 250,000 naira per student. Is that one not going to cause armed robbery? Because how do you expect the parent of a person who is receiving 30,000 naira per month to send their child to Lautech to be paying 250,000? Where are the economists? Economists, where are you when we need you? And we always see you when we say pay workers 100,000 naira. The same economists are not questioning why senators are taking 13.7 million naira. That is the salary of 2,076 Nigerian workers in a month. One senator takes home the salary of 2,000 workers. That one doesn't cause inflation. No, you can't find the economists at that time. Every senator. Nigerian people, every Nigerian senator also has got 5 workers. Each of the workers receive nothing less than 480,000 naira. Find out. Then you have over how many House of Rep members? They are also entitled to all kinds of allowances. And you go to the NNPC. There is nobody in NNPC that is taking home less than $1 million per year. Either they are stealing it or awarding themselves all kinds of allowances, including traveling abroad when they don't need to travel abroad and they collect escapades. Nigeria is serving the greedy. It is time for Nigeria to reverse its course and start serving the needy. You cannot expect people to live off of $30 or $38 a month and give you a world-class civil service. You are deceiving yourself. That is what appointed in the Nigerian Labour Congress, that they are negotiating for peanuts. But you know why? The only reason why they are even negotiating for 30,000 naira is because we put the minimum wage issue on the front burner. We challenge them. And they are using our position to fight for minimum wage. But the last thing I'll tell you, do you know that a few years ago, minimum wage in Nigeria was equivalent to 56,000 naira? Let me tell you, economists will be talking about it. They will go and visit their grandmother, their mother. They will go and give money to somebody to buy shoes. The shoemaker will be happy. Everybody is part of the local economy. energize and incentivize small companies. Contractors, somebody mentioned contractors. You see, Nigeria, there are differences between contractors. Those are builders. So Nigeria has been dealing with contractors. We have to get rid of contractors and start hiring builders. Principle of separation of powers. That guy who asked that question has been studying too much of government. I love it. The level of representation of any political party in Nigeria doesn't represent or mean that there will be separation of power. The current government, the All Progressives Congress, or all past criminals, as a lot of call them, or present criminals, they have more senators in the Senate, but they don't see eye to eye when it comes to issues. They are all taking care of themselves. They have more House of Rep members in the House of Representatives. But does that translate to development? No. Because you have people who are driven by greed. You need to elect leaders who are driven by vision. And when vision meets action, nobody can stand in the way of progress. When the president is honest and wants to deliver a highway, somebody asks, how do you manage the standard of the contractors? If I'm president of Nigeria and I give you a contract to do Ibadan, Lagos Expressway, until that thing is done, I'm on your neck. If I ask you to do the one in Kano, Nigeria is not that big. The president has got 9 presidential jets and 2 helicopters. What are you doing at night? Why can't you go and visit contractors and make sure that, builders now, and make sure that they are delivering on the project that they promised? That is the job of the president. But you know what our presidents do and our governors do? I have seen the governor of my state is inspecting uncompleted projects, and he's still coming back to commission the project. In fact, sometimes they will commission half of the project that is uncompleted. That is not the business of a governor or a president of the commissioning project. When a project is completed, the people start using it. That is the commissioning of the project. As president of Nigeria, I will never commission a project, but I will ensure that every project that I start will be completed, and the people can use it and decide whether they like it or not. The one guy asked if this is a fight for presidency or a revolution. I'll say to you, whichever one comes first. If you do a revolution, it's even better. If you get the presidency on our side, it is a revolution that will happen to Nigeria. There is nothing next year that can be acceptable except a revolutionary direction for Nigeria. Change of direction. And the moment we get the presidency, you will see the revolution the next day. There's no question about it. You can already feel it, right? You can feel that the revolution is coming. Like Obafemi used to say that there is a natural mystic in the air. You can go and read the rest of the lyrics. It's not. You can feel it. So whichever one comes first. If it's the revolution, I'm happy. If it's the presidency, you will be happier. Young candidates are dividing the votes. No, there's no division of votes among young candidates. I have explained before, the fact that you are a young candidate doesn't mean that you can do the job. There are a lot of young people in government today who are fighting against the interests of young people. What we have said is that when the time comes, there will be a separation between boys and men. And there will be even further third-degree separation between men and old men in Nigeria. So all of the young candidates that you are seeing who are there, some of them, with due respect to them, they are entitled to vie for the office of presidency. We cannot just say that they must join us. But I think it will be very clear to a lot of people very soon who who are the real candidates in this race. Even already, without much of work being done, without the private jets, without the massive rallies where they bribe people with rice and akara. Yesterday, this day came out with a poll that there are 8 strong presidential candidates, and they grudgingly gave us number 3 behind Atiku and Babangida. Sorry, it's no between Atiku and yes, that's Buhari and Atiku. But we know that in the consciousness of our people, we are number 1. Numero uno. Somebody said this was an emancipation proclamation. I agree with you. But how do we intend to reach everyone? Reaching everyone is the job of everybody. If you have heard us today and you are convinced, call your mom, call your dad, tell your roommates, tell your girlfriend, tell your boyfriend that you heard a guy came to my school, he spoke, and there is hope, and there's brightness for the future, and I want you guys to follow him. The same thing is already happening from our colleagues abroad. Our brothers and sisters abroad are taking a position, most of them, that they will not be sending money to any member of their family who is not voting for the right candidate next year. I didn't force them to do it, but that's how passionate a lot of people are. You see, how did you hear about Martin Luther King? Somebody told you about it. Somebody taught you about it. You weren't there when he was fighting for the rights of blacks. But see, this must percolate to everybody, and it is everybody's job to ensure that we do that. Employment. We have plans to employ 5 million people within the first 4 years of coming to office. And how do we want to do it? By way of providing electricity alone, pushing from 3,000 megawatts to 24,000 with a combination of solar, wind, gas, biogas, even the dung of cows can be used for biogas to generate at least 1,000 megawatts of electricity. Just dung of cows. Dirt can be used for that. So we just need, again, digitally wired brains to tap into the opportunities that are limitless in this country. And we will hate ourselves if we don't do ourselves this favor next year. We cannot continue to vote for people who are dead and expect us to have life. It's not possible. It's true. It's not possible. He said you want a sector by sector breakdown. I don't have time today, but if you visit our website, we have broken down what we want to do to every sector in 10 places. We call it Spicer Hits. Security is number 1, power, electricity is number 2, infrastructure, anti-corruption, economy, restructuring, health, education, agriculture, and tourism. We are going to be doing all of this together at the same time. And that will increase the production capacity of Nigeria. Let me tell you, oil is an obsolete commodity. The real future of Nigeria lies in Nigeria's young people, our population. 70% of us, very creative, very energetic people who are out there just waiting for their talents to be discovered and tapped into and to bring prosperity into this country. Unleash yourselves from next year. That is what China is doing with their population. That's what India is doing with their population. But in Nigeria, our population is a liability instead of being an asset. We should change that. Number 13, how do you plan to resuscitate? I didn't write down resuscitate. It's just okay to resuscitate the economy. It's production. But what I'll tell you, one first thing, right, is that, as I mentioned, the Spicer is between production of electricity and infrastructure alone. There are over 3 million jobs hanging out there. Just to put together solar panels that will power this campus alone, you can hire over 20,000 people. And you know the effect in Nigeria. The moment someone has 100,000, it belongs to another 20 or 25 people. Because here, we are a family, we have a chain of reaction of wealth. The moment one person is wealthy, everybody in the family somehow gets something out of it. So that chain reaction will affect a lot more people. What do you need as this campus, for example, with 9 megawatts of electricity, which can come from solar? You can power not only the campus, but different. What am I telling you is that the university, the Obafemi Awolowo University, don't need to be inventing pure water or bread as they do at the University of Lagos. You can actually be selling electricity to the whole of Ife if you get digital leadership also in place there. And we'll make it happen our time. We will turn the universities into research and productive centers. One of the things that Harvard sells the most, do you know, intellectual property. When the research and invent things there, they sell it to companies, and the companies somehow give the university a lot of money. The endowment of Harvard University is bigger than our so-called foreign reserve because they are selling brains there. They are not selling gari and granuts. And that's what our universities should be about. Someone said, how do you want to be realistic? How can we be more realistic than this? Telling you, breaking it down to everybody's level, how to take Nigeria to the next level, inspiring people, and moving them with all the best inspiration that is possible. So, I will handle one last thing, because I'm told that I can't answer all the questions, too many questions, and some of the questions I think I've answered through other questions. And the issue of cannabis. Yes, I know some of you are very interested in cannabis. Yes, there is no intention on my part in what I said to legalize cannabis. What I have said, which will require some legal framework, is the export of cannabis to the rest of the world. And as of today, Canada legalized cannabis about 2 weeks ago. They are short of cannabis, 70% short of cannabis that they need. Nigeria's cannabis grown within the forest that is lying between Ondo State, a place called Obese in Ondo State, Kwale in Delta State, Ekiti State, and I think Edo State. They grow enough cannabis that would have supplied Canada for the rest of their life. So instead of burning cannabis, we burn 1.5 trillion naira worth of cannabis every year. Instead of burning it, sell it to the people who want it. But cannabis is not the moral product that you are discussing anymore. It has become the new oil in the world. In fact, in Nigeria, they sell cannabis oil, they call it CBD. For just a bottle, it's 26,000 naira. Yes, it cures all kinds of things. Most people haven't done their research. You understand that cannabis is a big product out there. Yes. But, you know, the same people that are condemning cannabis, they smoke cannabis. Pastors, judges, they all have cannabis is a wash. You can find cannabis wherever you want in Nigeria. But nobody has thought about packaging it and selling it and making $4 billion every year. If you can make $4 billion every year from cannabis, Ondo State, Ekiti State, Edo State, and Delta State will not need to be going to Abuja to beg for the monthly allowances that they collect, the peanuts. In fact, they will be able to invest it to make their countries, their states, become independent of the federal government. Maybe from there we can start discussing the restructuring they are even talking about. Because the moment you have economic power, you can restructure the way you want. But if you are here in Osun State and all you have is tourism, and nobody is thinking about how to grow the economy. You are not thinking about products. You are not using your universities to create products that can compete globally. And you are worried about cannabis. I'm sorry for you. You just need to hit Google and save yourself of the ignorance and embarrassment. South Africa has just legalized cannabis. Ghana is going to be exporting cannabis very soon. A lot of countries are after how to use cannabis for medicinal purposes. And the Nigerian cannabis, by the way, is the best. Do you know the botanical name for it? It's called cannabis sativa. It's the best in the world. But if you are not careful, they will tell you that it's the worst because you don't get it again on time. Ladies and gentlemen, great people! Greatest of the greatest! One question I'll say to you, for those of you who are asking for student union, if you want student union, go and create it and enforce it. When I was at the University of Lagos, the school authorities said they proscribed the student union. We said, that is your own grammar. We organized ourselves, took over the student union building, we were operating from there. My car was Aluta 001. The Vice Chancellor's car was Unilag 001. Even though the student union car was not as good as the Vice Chancellor's car, to show to him that we are student union, I used to park my car across from his car in front of the Senate building. And nobody there towed my car, even though it sometimes only have brakes. And sometimes, just to embarrass them, I will bring the car when it has oil leakage problem. So it will leak oil around the Vice Chancellor's office. And they will say to us, come and take your car. I say, if you don't want the embarrassment, replace the car. So, please, ladies and gentlemen, you are old enough to govern yourselves. Don't be begging school authorities for student union all the time. You are the ones giving them the opportunity. If you want to student union, organize yourself, organize the student union election, organize the student union parliament. It won't be pressed unless somebody come and arrest you. You are the owners of this campus. The university professors and lecturers are working for you. It is nice for you to take your rightful place on campus. And I want to hear you say, stop calling it student union, so that they will sink into their score what is student union government. Thank you very much.
We have about 50 cards, so just sit down. We don't be spelling out the numbers. So come out with your phone. We have MTN, we have Intel, we have all the networks. So be ready. So it's free. So just again want to play and just to appreciate the lucky winners and everybody for coming. Thank you so much for coming for this program. I want to hand the mic to the MC and the co-moderator to take over that. Last time to recognize the presence of the Ibukune Austin was a three-time virtual chairman and a two-time presidential aspirant of this great school. Dr. Ibukune Austin from the State, could you just recognize, we want to recognize you, raise up your hand. Great. Great. Thank you. All TIB members from all the other cities, from Eke, from Ilesha, from Oshobo, from Iwe, we want to recognize you, we appreciate your presence. Thank you for coming, thank you so much. Okay, I hand over the mic for the free cards that will be spelled out. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, are you ready now? Shebi say I should take my card the other time. Okay, this one is for MTN subscribers. I will not be wasting time. 31979755298453 So who got it? Okay, I come again. 31979755298453 MTN, who got that one? That brother. Okay, let me tell it one more time. 3197975528. Okay, someone has used it. Please, if you know this card, let us know. Now this is another one. MTN. I'm having another MTN with me. Okay, we are coming to blow. 0944 is MTN. 81306. So what was like that? Someone is putting this thing. I'm like, now you're like, okay, now I get one agree. Now I get congratulations, brother. Now I'm going to be calling Airtel now. I'm going to be calling Airtel. Airtel subscribers in the house. Are you ready? Airtel subscribers in the house.
是。
See it on camera. See it on camera.
All right, Dr. Gina wants to, he has the floor. Dr. She has the floor. Please, one house, please, one house. Dr. Gina, please.
Thank you very much. Great event. Great. Great take it back action. What we are telling you,
Yeah, good.
this opinion and this suggestion, please listen. Okay, please.
One house, one house, one house, one house. One house.
Please, one house. We have suggestion from our sister union, and Nasu, Sano, Asu, Onwal, and so on and so forth. We believe that we need to form a forum for meeting on a continual basis. Maybe they will be moving from campus here, maybe to town, Ilesha, community around, in order to talk to our parents, all those people, our cousins, our brothers in the Indra area, and in other universities. So it's better we just finish this program today and we end it here. So meaning that we are killing it. So we need to let it continue until 2019 after the election. So that's why we are here. So we need registration. I don't know who is going to coordinate the state. Are you the state?
State chairman.
The state chairman, so maybe you're going to handle it. Then you get it across to ASU, SANOS, all those people that are involved in one-union. Then you try to. Hey, what I'm saying, what I'm raising it here now, is this issue that is not problem. People will give you promise or whatever. It's not problem. We give them letters. It's not problem. We're going to do it. In the next few minutes, nothing until the next year.
Do you have a number?
You don't need my number.
They have a lot of vibrant coordinators. Yes. I'll get you. It's a great synergy between the campus and that's very important because we can afford to.
Because people are ready.
People, I can see from today, you know, that people are. If Buhari still came out and openly confessed that he's now changed mind. Yeah. And we are forgiving him.
All right.
Thank you, Awolowo, so much for answering.
So just a little session period. Where is the member of the ushering?
John, 2 minutes.
Oh yeah, please. Okay, ushering. All right, ushering. Quick. Media department, get ready. Please, we'll take it in batches and that's the okay. No, wait. You join me. Ushering, yeah. All right. Media department. Oh yeah, usher, please. Media department. Media department, please. Media department, do quick. Media department. Where's John?